The accuracy of these ancient oracles is not just a moot point, because these doomsday prophecies apparently referred to our own time. And some find disturbing confirmation of the 2012 doomsday in the calendar of the ancient Mayans, which gives a far more specific timetable for apocalypse, including the year, the month, and the day. The Mayan calendar seems to say that the world will end in 2012. It's a startlingly precise prediction from a culture that took its calendar very seriously. The Mayan civilization flourished in Central America from the 6th to the 9th century AD. They were obsessed with timekeeping. Their calendar was incredibly precise, more accurate even than our own. Its interlocking timescales of lunar, solar, and planetary cycles could accurately predict a solar eclipse thousands of years into the future.
The Mayans were kind of like shamanic scientists, and they were obsessed with time, synchronicity, and consciousness, and they spent like 1,000 years, going back to even previous civilizations, trying to put together a model of when this big transformation was going to take place.
The calendar is also prophetic. In the 8th century AD, it predicted that white-skinned, bearded gods would arrive from across the sea on March 5th, 1519. On that precise date, Cortez and his conquistadors arrived in the New World. Was it coincidence, or was the calendar prophetically accurate? The answer matters, for the Mayan calendar also predicts the end of the world as we know it, on the date that the Mayans called Hunab Ku.
On the winter solstice, 2012, December 21st, the sun rises within the dark rift at the center of the Milky Way. And they call this dark rift a cosmic mother, or they also apparently referred to it as a black hole. And only in the last 5 years have Western astronomers discovered that there is actually an enormous black hole at the center of the Milky Way, which is at the center of our galaxy.
Modern astronomers concur with the ancient Mayans. On December 21st, 2012, the Earth will be in exact alignment with the Sun and the center of the Milky Way galaxy, a galactic event that takes place only once every 25,800 years. No one knows what effect this extraordinary alignment will have on the Earth, but the Mayans believed it would be dire.
It might be kind of like a crossing over of the kind of galactic equator. When you go below, south and north, magnetic currents will spin in opposite directions. It might be there's a kind of field effect reversal that takes place once you pass through this galactic equator.
Geophysicists have a theory that is strikingly similar to the events predicted by the Mayan alignment. This phenomenon is called pole shift, in which the entire mantle of the Earth would shift in a matter of days, perhaps hours, changing the position of the North and South Pole, causing worldwide disaster. Earthquakes would rock every continent. Massive tsunamis would inundate coastal cities. It would be the ultimate planetary catastrophe.
So why do we care about what the ancient Mayans thought about the year 2012? Because in the past, their calendars accurately predicted a wide range of natural cycles, such as solar eclipses and the movement of planets over thousands of years.
The Mayan calendar is a fascinating system of timekeeping. It is the single most accurate system of timekeeping known to humankind until the 20th century.
The Maya calculated the length of the solar year to within a few hundredths of a percentage point of what we know it to be today with our satellites and telescopes and computers.
These are the remains of one of the greatest Mayan cities ever built, Chichen Itza. For almost 3,000 years, the Mayans formed one of the world's most powerful civilizations. At its peak in the 10th century, the Mayan Empire spanned most of southern Mexico, as well as Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. But suddenly and mysteriously, this great civilization vanished.
When the Spaniards arrived here in the 16th century, they found Chichen Itza completely abandoned.
Terrifying Mayan predictions about the end of the world have their roots in ancient astronomical observations.
This is the observatory. Maya astronomers, they will sit on top of this building and look up, watching celestial bodies over the night.
So these were trained astronomers who came back night after night after night and kept records of.
Yeah, exactly. This was going on every night, you know, throughout the year. This building.
Mayan astronomers meticulously recorded their observations, measuring time by the movement of the stars.
After watching, you know, the sky night after night, they were able to figure out a lunar calendar.
This calendar allowed them to keep track of the cycles and events of the natural world.
Knowing the movement of celestial bodies, the Mayas, they were able to predict a bad rainy season, storms, hurricanes.
What strikes me about the Mayans is that even beyond casual observations of the moon and the sun, they were able to make detailed astronomical observations and keep records that are really mind-boggling.
They incorporated this intimate knowledge of astronomy into the design of their most sacred buildings.
We are here in front of the castle of the Kukulkan Temple. As the sun comes down, it reflects shadows on this side of the stairway, and 7 triangles are formed. Those triangles associated with the serpent head. And this occurs twice a year, in March 21st and on September 22nd. Both of events associated with the equinox. For the Mayas, it represented the beginning of another cycle.
Another extraordinary ruin may have special significance to the Mayan prophecies, a kind of ancient, sacred football field.
Wow. So what is this long field?
This is the great ball court here at Chichen. This is the largest ball court in Mexico and Central America.
This extraordinary enclosure wasn't built for mere sport, but for ritual worship and sacrifice. Some believe that these ceremonies were related to the movement of the stars, and that they have a special significance to modern doomsday predictions for 2012.
We're facing the temple, and that temple was used by a paramount ruler to sit down and see what was going on, you know, when the players were playing.
Okay, so tell me about the rules as a sport. How is this actually played?
What the players had to do was to use their knees to hit that ball and try to get that ball through the holes on the rings. One of those rings is located right there.
The first team to put the ball through the ring won. While the loser faced a horrific fate.
So what was the importance of this game? Why were they playing?
Players reenact the movement of celestial bodies. All of these players were reenacting the universe, something that the astronomers recorded.
But what does this ancient ritual have to do with the supposed prophecy that our world will end on the 21st of December, 2012? American writer John Major Jenkins has an avid interest in ancient Mayan myth traditions, and cosmology.
You had a ball court that is lined up with the dawning December solstice sun. There was a throne on the west end of the ball court over here, and there's seating stones. So we know that people were sitting on these stones looking towards the dawning December solstice sun. They were looking at the game being played, but they were also looking at the astronomy happening over the southeastern horizon. And I'll show you how that works.
He believes the Maya were observing a rare and subtle movement of the stars, dubbed a galactic alignment.
The December solstice sun and the galactic center, over the last 2,000 years, these two things have been converging. They've come together. And this is what the ancient sky watchers were noticing happening in the sky.
From their latitude on the Yucatan Peninsula, he believes the Maya observed the gradual alignment of the sun with the center of the Milky Way.
We can see that there's a three-way lineup between the Earth, the December solstice sun, and the nuclear bulge of the galactic center.
So basically, you're saying that ancient Mayan astronomers would observe the slow shift of the plane of the Milky Way and the center of the galaxy moving closer and closer to the horizon.
Right, and they were doing this some 2,000 years ago.
Such subtle observations would be testament to the Mayans' astronomical skills. An alignment of the sun with the center of the Milky Way happens only once every 26,000 years.
I believe that when they formulated their 2012 calendar about 2,100 years ago, they intended the end date, December 21st of 2012, to target this future alignment of sun and galaxy.
The Maya always experienced massive catastrophes, in particular changes through the tropical climate, tropical storms, hurricanes. I think the Maya made this experience in their everyday life. The Maya were looking for these great cycles of climatic change.
And the catastrophic climate event that marks the end of the world is illustrated on the very last page.
The last picture shows us the end of the world, the destruction of the world by the celestial crocodile of the sky, who is pouring out streams of water so that all life on Earth would be destroyed.
The ancient Maya apparently believed that a catastrophic climate event would cause the end of the world.
The reason why December 21st, 2012 is so important for these doomsday scenarios is the Mayan calendar runs out on 21st December 2012.
Today, elaborate calendars are some of the few remnants of the once vast Mayan civilization, known for its advancements in mathematics and astronomy.
Their very first calendar wasn't about the heavens, but it was rather about the human cycle. Its account of 260 days. Eventually, they started farming, and they needed to track the sun through its 365 days. Then they had these two calendars together.
Other cycles yielded even more calendars. The long count, one of their longest calendars, tracks a period of 5,126 years.
The long count isn't really about any one particular celestial cycle. They wanted to create a system where all of the cycles they had been tracking come together.
Experts have determined that the current long count probably began in 3,114 BC and will end on the solstice, December 21st, 2012. Some say this will coincide with the sun dramatically eclipsing the center of the Milky Way. When it does, they say we will be cut off from the vital cosmic energy emanating from the black hole believed to be the galaxy's beating heart. Some believe life on Earth will be thrown into upheaval or wiped away entirely.